Cracking clinical cases gives unmeasured joy. It makes you feel so good that you have finally decoded those heavy medical books to save a patient's life. You feel a step closer in becoming a great doctor you always wished for. Solving clinical cases require great knowledge of medical literature. Although there are some smart ways through which you can increase your command over clinical cases. So let's begin with how to make clinical case solving strong. And if this video really helps you, do not forget to hit that thumbs up, leave some positive comments and share it with your friends to help everyone in these tough times. So, in order to make clinical case solving stronger, today we will see a very important concept, and I have named that concept as concept of clinic's notebook. By this, what I mean is that you have to maintain a separate notebook in which you can write all your clinical cases. So now let's see how we have to make it smartly. So basically, suppose today you are studying a disease. You studied today Parkinson's or deep venous thrombosis, any disease you have studied today. Now, after studying that disease from your book or resources, you have to search on Google simply clinical case on dash. Example, I have studied on DVT, so I will type DVT clinical case. Now there's a website NCBI. It is basically National Biotechnological Information Center. So it provides almost all clinical cases. So you can see that you will get a clinical case of whatsoever your problem is there. Now, out of all the clinical cases available, have a look at the clinical case, understand how they diagnose that disease, and then whichever case you find best. Suppose I have found here that SlideShare had the best case in DVT, which is very relatable to my current knowledge. So I will simply copy the link and paste it in my notepad. So my mobile notepad will have all the clinical cases at a place. Now I have to proceed in making a notebook and concising that disease. So for that, what I will do, I will write that particular disease in a page in all the various headings that I have seen in that case report. Basically, diseases have certain etiology, pathogenesis, clinical features, treatment. There can be also many more headings depending on what the disease is. You will get to know via your case report that you saw in your article in the PubMed or whatsoever site you shared. So now after having that headings, you have to write them in a page. And now how to write it in a page, you have to use various smart techniques. What are that? Basically, many cases can be diagnosed just by some prominent findings, as in it belongs to the group which is prominent in female or male, or that disease is either autosomal recessive or dominant, or age groups either in children, young or old. So now you can use color coding for them, or you can make certain symbols on your page. Suppose you are writing it on a page, so use that particular symbol in the page. For female, male, autosomal recessive is kind of better situation than dominant, so you can use that sad and happy emoji. And children, young, old, you can either color it as per your thinking, because children are like quite jubilant, so yellow. Young is the age is full of falling in love, so that can be right. And old is pretty simple age, so that can be written as gray or white language. So this is kind of color coding. This will help you remember that in what age group particular disease is found, and this will help you in diagnosing that conditions. Now the next thing that you need to do is basically you need to prepare differential diagnosis. What happens basically, if I say you that these are the common symptoms, you can see in almost every symptom complex there is fever, there is cough, there is wheezing, there might be chest pain. So all these things, when you study for a particular clinical case, suppose you study gastroenteritis, in there also was fever, in septic arthritis was also fever. So how you will distinguish it? So you need to make differential diagnosis of that particular topic. So now whenever you study asthma, you have to write differential diagnosis on your page. On this page only, you have to also write differential diagnosis, that asthma can also be differentially diagnosed with bronchiolitis. So this is all you need to know right now according to that differential diagnosis point. Now the next thing that you need to do is basically you need to accumulate the symptoms. What does this mean is, Suppose we are talking about abdominal pain. So abdominal pain, right now you are a first year student. Now you are studying a particular case, you found yes, abdominal pain was there. Now you proceed further, maybe in next year of your clinical knowledge, you found abdominal pain as a symptom for many of the problem. So now you will sum up that if I studied in liver, abdominal pain was due to hepatitis. If I studied in pancreas, it was due to pancreatitis. And now finally, if in obs-gynae you study in female reproductive tract, then it will be kind of ectopic pregnancy or ovarian cyst. So this can help you in clubbing all that symptoms, because these are some common symptoms and you need to diagnose them well, and this will be given in your clinical cases as well. So you need to know that how you should diagnose it. So summing up, what you need to do, just search a particular disease, make its article in your notepad, then take a page, write all about that disease in short information, use color coding so that you can remember that particular traits which will help you in diagnosing. Then what are the confusions, differential diagnosis, you need to prepare them also, and ultimately you need to accumulate whatever symptom you have studied anywhere. Now coming about how to master it. So in order to win a race, you have to practice 100 times to win that race first, okay? So how to practice? Now you can find many questions nowadays on various platforms. I am not going into that. What I mean to give you here a tip is basically what I personally do, that once I have written in my notepad all the clinical cases, okay? Suppose you have read 30 clinical cases and now that cases are there in your notepad. So share that notepad with your friend, okay? Ask your friend to just give you those clinical cases randomly on message you, and you will give the diagnosis without sharing with you that this is a case of DVT. Do you understand? This is very important, and you can do the same for your friend too. So you can exchange your clinical cases and just copy paste the clinical case and share with you. You don't know what is the diagnosis, you will try to diagnose. This is jumble technique, and this will help you in revising again and again what important clinical cases you have studied, because some cases are quite common and you need to practice them again and again to diagnose them in an instant. So you can try this jumble technique for the same. Now the next ultimate option what you need to do is, if suppose you are giving an MCQ exam and you have no idea of that clinical case, you can derive it from the options. What does this mean is, basically there is a case and there are 4 options. So try figuring out that this symptom was present in this option or not. This will again be possible only if you have maintained that disease in a page, because you know that okay, this is Parkinson's, in Parkinson's which type of tremor is found and which type of tremor is not found. So you need to maintain that disease in a single page for your rapid revision. So at the end, I would like to say that clinical case solving is not something like a guru mantra. It's basically your clinical knowledge only. What I thought was giving you some smart tips so that you can make it much more better, and then you can get the smile on your face whenever you solve a clinical case. So again, if this video brought a positive change in your life, make sure share it to others, help everyone, and do not forget to subscribe and hit a thumbs up. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.